firing good. Well, I pretty much got everything hooked up. Put carburetor on it. I run the fuel tank. Cranked it over a little. I got fuel in it. Accelerator pump's working good. I put my plugs in. I just finger tightened them. I'm pretty sure I got the firing order right. I've got I checked my power to my coil wire there. If all that distributor and stuff is good, it ought to spark. Get my oil line out of the way here. I'm trying to stick it in there so pump the oil back and not burn up my line on the thing. Well, let's see if it starts. I would say that that's a little fast. Let's change it a little. A couple more squirts. Getting closer. You're going a little too far. I'm not positive I have my firing order right. Kicking back to the carburetor. That don't mean much. Get some more push water. Yeah, it's kind of trying. I think I've got the firing order wires wrong or something. I'm going to check that again. I checked around the other side. I have no PVC valve in it. Major vacuum leak. I had no vacuum line going to the distributor. I checked the firing order. I have those right. So I think I'll try to do it with both hands right now. I don't know if this thing will idle or not, but at least I can open the throttle by hand. I'll see if I can set you up here where you can see. Well, I think that's recording. More pumps here. Where the timing is. Backfiring. Exhaust. Mr. Firing good. I had a choke to put it out with, so sounds like my battery's going dead. Backfiring through the carburetor. Try it once more. that's it. Battery's dead. I'll pull this valve cover off of here tomorrow. And it looks like it's trying to start. Probably would if I had a good battery in it. As I can tell, it's getting compression plus 2. I never even cleaned those plugs. They're just old dirty plugs, and they're not even tightened up. I just put them in finger tight. So I think I'll put the battery charger on it, and I think I'm pretty close to starting it. Put the battery charger on it, clean those plugs, put them back in, and should fire up. I still don't know how good that carburetor is, but I think it's good enough to run and idle. Well, the battery charged overnight, and now I had a key in it where I could turn it over. I put my finger in it, number 1 there, got it up on compression stroke. Sure enough, I had 180 degrees off, so I rewired it. I think it's right. See if this is gonna, can't really tell. Pretty close. Let's see if it'll start. It should. Good. Yeah, well, get this cap on right and bring it back. Well, try it again. I think I still got the firing order wrong on it. Well, not a Chevy guy, so I had the firing order counterclockwise, and it turned out it's supposed to be clockwise. Embarrassing trying to start this thing 3-4 times. Say that was a success. No water. Bad spark plugs, not even tightened down. Amazing what happens when you get the stuff right. Alright, clean the plugs, tighten them up. Should fire up pretty easy. Idle set a little low. Don't know if the timing's right. I just played with it some, but it sounds good. And it should fire right up. I don't have that carburetor adjusted at all. I'll try a couple tweaks on it and see what happens. Well, that was funny. I left the number one spark plug off. That ought to go down the road big time.
Hell yeah.
Those little tiny.
Man, one thing you gotta do now is just put him back.
Well, now the motor's running. I decided I'd move on with a steering wheel. I got this thing off eBay here. It looks like my brake pedal's hitting it just a little there. I can cut that off. I'm in good shape the rest of it, and of course the pedal goes away from the steering column. That's about where it should be. Probably be up a little more. This is 1.5 inches. They put some bearings in it. It's just a piece of pipe with tubing and quick change top on it, but that's approximately where it goes. And they sent me a drop for it. It's just a plate with 1.5 inch hole bolted, drilled in it. I asked them, I bought it and then asked them if they would cancel the order. I wanted to get a 2-inch one because I could get drops for it, and they said we'll make you a drop. And that's okay, fine. So $100 for a steering column. That wasn't bad. Free drop. It looks like it's sticking down in here pretty good. So this is going to have to go way back. Probably in that area somewhere. Maybe way up here. But this is pretty easy to just cut this shaft and modify it. But I got some pretty radical angles there. 3/4 inch shaft. I think that's a 1 inch double D there. So I'm gonna have to bring this over here somewhere. I'll try to get it bungeed in where I can get a little better idea how I gotta fix it. Well, this is more or less where it goes. It's gonna come over here a little to the left. I've got a couple double U joints here. I don't know. It looks like I might be able to run this one across here, come up, put a U-joint there, make it level, or maybe a little up, brace it right here, and then 2 more. But it's going to be a lot of U-joints to try to get this thing to fit. These are, I had these on a lathe, but they're smooth. There's a little play in it. I could weld it, but I just don't like them. They're pretty sloppy. So looks like I'm gonna have to cut about 4 or 5 inches off my wheel, off my column. See, it's sticking up in there a little too far. It's seriously interfering with my brake. Seriously interfering with the brake right there. I've got the brake all the way to the floor. I should have put a pipe up in there to measure it. It looks like this thing needs to be cut again about 1 inch up, and then slid over and welded. That'll give me enough clearance there to clear the thing. I've got the steering column, I've got it right at the top, and I'm down a ways here at the top. I've got the top of the bottom hole down there. So Mr. Brake has got to be cut off. I can do that. Sure wasted a lot of time welding that thing. I thought when I cut it that I was going to have room, but I should have put a pipe in it. I didn't. Well, I'll just have to redo that. It's over too far to the left right now, and this is going to move it even further over. So I'll probably have to cut it down there on the bottom and move that pedal over to the right, or make another pedal. But anyway, that's got to be shortened up at least by 1 inch, and I'll have to make sure that my rod is going to be clear in there. I think I'll be good there. I just cut that 3/4 of an inch from the bottom of that bracket. That'll give me plenty of room, and then slide it up, tack it in. kind of need to do that. But in the meantime, that's pretty close. I'll have to figure this out. Now this has just got a rag joint that don't have a lot of play in it, and it's going on to a splined shaft here. So my next deal is to take that off, figure out what kind of spline it is, and then start ordering parts. I need a U-joint here. I can probably use a Heim joint there. So I'm going to need 2 or 3 Heim joints and 1, 2, 3 U-joints. Just have to get it off and see. Well, I cut my brake off here, moved it over. I got a pretty good weld in there, and it's missing my column good. I've got a Heim joint up in there that'll work just fine, and I've got it pretty solid. I got it welded in a couple places. I need to take it out and finish it, but I'm hitting the C-clamp there. But I still got brake before I hit it. It's not too high. I haven't really set in it and tried it. Well, no, it's pretty high brake. But again, once I get the linkage and everything all set up, it looks like I got way more than enough pedal there. I can cut the pedal arm again, move it a little towards the floor. But what I was really trying to get was the steering wheel needs to go about right there, about probably more like that. I think I'll redo this cord a little. Well, that's holding a little better. I got enough room here for my hands, and I'm clearing okay here. So that's and I can get out. That's pretty much where the wheel needs to go. And I can see how much I got to cut off down here. Well, looks like about 7 inches, 8 inches. You know, this would give me a fairly straight shot across here. This is about where the need to get a marker marked. Well, it looks like the end of the shaft about right here will give me a fairly good shot, and using the same dimensions that they've got here, my bearing will be up in here, so I don't have to cut this shaft. Really, all I got to do is I can just take my cut-off tool there and cut that shaft and slide that bearing up, and just leave or the housing, slide the bearing up to here. In fact, I might bring that bearing down here a little bit, just in case. If I have to move it, it's always, I can always cut it off a little. It's kind of hard to weld a piece back on. But anyway, that's what I got to do, is cut this and take that bearing and everything off there, and get it back up into the shaft there. Who knows, you know, I might put a U-joint right here, bring this out this way, and then another one, so I could use 3 U-joints in here, and I think this would be for sure good enough, because I have to get it to where it's right about this area here. You got to move it over about 2 inches. I got about 1.5 inches movement here. But basically that's what I got to do, is cut that shaft back and move that bearing up. Well, it's the end of the day, admiring my job here. We've got to run brake lines. I'm waiting on joints to finish that steering. Need to finish that thing on the other side of the hood, finish wiring it, put fan belt on it. I need to put some kind of lights in it. I don't know what kind of turn signals I'm going to use. I haven't found anything that would work. But anyway, old truck is moving along, so if you find value in these videos, please like and subscribe. This thing will be running and driving shortly, probably this week, and it'll be sold right after that. So I kind of hate to sell it. It's a nice old truck, but that motor, I was listening to it idle, and it sounded like it's got a pretty good cam in it. Of course, I thought that when I had this carburetor on that Mustang too, but it wasn't very radical. The carburetor was bad, but it's got a pretty rumpy idle, and it wraps really good. Well, this guy had it in another street rod, and he pulled it out. It wasn't fast enough to put a big block in it, so he might have done something to it. Anyway, just reminiscing on the end of the day. I'll upload this and see what we got.